Good evening, Drew.
I, I'm, I'm not okay.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Okay.
not okay. I'm
T-
not okay.
Talk to me, Drew. What's going on?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
regular listeners of this show will know I had a very busy week last week.
Mm-hmm.
I had my big move.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. So it's the whole. I have two houses and I only really need one.
Yeah. Two's probably too many. Yeah.
Two is too many for me. I like two of a lot of things. I don't like two houses. The good news there is I think we might have sold it. Someone made an offer today, and we just countered on one thing that they wanted to do, but I have no idea if that's like okay or not. So I have no idea what's happening.
In this market, I think you'll be fine.
Well, I would like to think so. Our house went on the market this week. Showing started Wednesday. Today is Thursday, and we got our first offer. So
Nice. Yeah.
yeah, it's not bad. I mean, we didn't get like a crazy. We didn't like get a crazy amount over what we were asking, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Paul. It's fine.
Is it fine? Is it fine? Okay.
It's fine.
Okay.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine, but you're freaking out.
I'm freaking out. It's
Okay.
just, man, it was a super stressful thing. So I don't even really know where to start with this. It's going to be one of those Drew heavy episodes. So just kind of like buckle up a little bit.
I'm strapped in. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
you're strapped in. Yeah. So last week was the big move. I think. Well, so we didn't do a podcast last week.
No.
Just because I was like, I was between homes. Let's put it that way.
And I was too lazy to find a guest host because I was busy and stressed with other things, but not house stuff. I want to hear your stuff.
Okay. So let me talk. Okay. Let me just come out and say it. I love the house that I'm living in right now.
Okay.
I can't. I know like imposter syndrome is a real thing. It is a real thing that people have, whether it's your job or a skill set or something. I have imposter syndrome about where I live, because people here are much wealthier than me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, we didn't buy the cheapest house on the block, right? It wasn't like there was like a row of millionaire mansions in some little shack that we bought. Like it's not about that, but it's a very nice neighborhood with very nice people that we like very much, and our neighbors are super nice, and I just don't feel like I belong in this neighborhood. I mean, there are people my age. There are also a lot of people that have lived here their entire lives.
Okay. Probably like born into money. Have always lived there. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But we went through our move. We had the people come and pack all our stuff. They sent 4 strapping young lads to our home to load a truck. And for context sake, we moved from a 12, almost 1,300 square foot house to something about double that. More than double that,
More than
actually.
double. Okay.
And they couldn't fit everything in their truck.
Oh no.
I don't know how that happens.
Oh no.
All I can say is thank God for people with trailers that I know, that I was able to load a few more things in there and get them over to my house.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, so that all happened. Like we officially moved last Monday. And the day we moved, it was just, I helped move things. Mandy helped move things. Other people helped move things. The people we paid to move things moved things. And then once we were sort of in the house and like we got a good night's sleep, I spent a lot of time. I spent the majority of my week at my last house sort of getting it ready to sell. So touching up paint, getting a few repairs done, replacing some baseboards and trim that were older that I never did, fixing some doors, fixing my front door lock, just little things here and there, just getting everything ready. But basically my day consisted of waking up early, going over to the other house, working till like 3-4 o'clock, and then coming back to my new house and unpacking and getting things set up. So it was just a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot, Mm-hmm. And I was back at work this week. I love the room that I have set up at my office, but we're going to get to one of the problems I have here in a little bit, because why should my life be perfect? Yeah, okay. So that the house is great. We love it. We feel incredibly privileged to live here. I'm still freaked out a little bit about what my budget is going to be. On paper, everything looks good, but the real world doesn't always live on paper. But I didn't liquidate every single asset I have to make this happen. Like, I still have a cushion. God forbid I lose my job or get sick or anything like that. So like, I'm not in jeopardy of losing my home. I feel like I did pretty much everything I could. I think at the end of the day, I probably bought more house than I needed. But when I look at other houses we looked at and what they would have sold for, a little bit more to get this place, I think it makes sense. So I'm very happy. There are so many things about this house that I like. There's just this, and you're gonna come over. You're gonna come over and play games soon. You don't know that yet, but you're gonna.
Okay, I can't wait.
Okay. There's just this one corner of my house that has these big floor to ceiling windows. It just overlooks my yard, and it's just, I could literally put my standing desk in that corner and work all day, and I would be ultra content. Like it's just so nice. I want to get a really nice chair and put it there,
just so you can look out the window.
Just look out the window or read. We actually have a deck now that we can like sit on. I mean, we had a patio at our last place, but we never used it. And we have a deck with actual doors that go out that are nice, and like, it's just, it's great. It's just all great. Now, there are some grievances, and these are gonna be the ultimate like cranky white guy grievances. Okay. So people are going to listen to this, and people who already had a distaste for me are going to hate me even more.
Drew, they're not listening anymore, Drew.
Yeah, it's fine. Nobody listens. It's fine. I could say what I want. I could probably say the N word and I'd be okay. I'm not going to say that. So to let you know how bougie I am now, I own a home with a sprinkler system.
Ooh, fancy.
Right. Well, here is the conundrum. Okay, so the house we bought is a corner lot at the entrance of the particular, it's not really a subdivision, the particular area, the particular neighborhood, I guess you should say, we should live in. We live on the corner. So everybody has to drive past our house to like get to their house. Okay, so I cannot, under any circumstances, let my yard or landscaping go to shit.
You're going to have a lot of social pressure to keep that pristine. Yeah.
And when I was looking at this house, I knew that this yard was going to be big and require a lot of work. I am officially in the honeymoon with mowing my lawn. That will end. That will end, and I will probably hire somebody to cut it. It is a substantial amount of yard to cut. I do not have a riding mower. I bought a push mower. I bought a very nice push mower, but it takes me about 2 hours to cut the grass.
That's too much.
And it's not necessarily due to the size of the yard, but the shape of the flower beds that are in it. There's a lot of oblong shapes of flower beds that you have to like edge around and all this stuff. And I bought a trimmer. Like, Drew was in big money mode last week, getting all the things I needed that I didn't have, right? So there is a lot of pressure to make sure this lawn is looking good, making sure that people drive by it and say, yeah, that guy is a credit to the team. He's helping keep the neighborhood look nice. I have driven around a lot of the neighborhoods here that sort of interconnect. I have not come across a house yet that is not immaculately kept, both at the structural level or the yard level. And I am not going to let myself be the first.
Okay.
So anyway, big component of this, right, is obviously cutting the grass, making sure it looks good. But this home has a sprinkler system. When I had the house inspected, they do not inspect sprinkler systems. It's not something that's on the checklist.
Okay.
So we moved in during a very hot week that did not get a lot of rain. So I needed to figure out like how I was going to water my yard. Now, I knew that this had an irrigation system. I'm sure that you have seen irrigation systems in homes before,
I have,
or
yep.
or have a vague idea of what they look like. So obviously, there are little black tubes that pop out of the ground, that pop out of the earth, right? Not out of the ground, they pop out of the earth. I don't know how they materialize. It's like it is some straight up Doctor Who shit when you see it happen. I don't understand.
It's the water. The water pressure makes them come up. Yeah.
Yeah, but I've walked across my yard several times and I have not seen them, but now I know where they are.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's straight up voodoo. But yeah, so canonically, right, there's somewhere in the house usually in the garage there is a control panel that you use to program what they call zones and like the duration that you want it to water, the days of the week you want it to water. There is a device that can only describe as an obelisk in my garage that has no physical buttons at all. So day 3 I was here and it wasn't raining. I was like, I'm going to have to get this figured out because I need to water. And like, I didn't even have I left my hose at my last house just because I needed to like water and keep that landscaping alive. So people didn't drive past it and be like, ooh.
Right.
So I didn't even have a hose to like water with. So I was like, I got to get this figured out. So, because everything's on the internet these days, my irrigation system is completely controlled by an app because of course it is.
Of course it is. Yeah, duh.
Because of course it is. And like I went online and apparently I have a first generation of whatever this thing is called. I cannot pronounce its name. I'm not going to try. There'll be a link in the show notes. Someone tell me how to say it. So I spent some time in my garage, like on my phone, like trying to find a user manual for this thing. So there is a bracket that mounts to the wall. There is a power plug that goes into that. It's very nesty. There's not even really a display on it. There's like literally just a series of LEDs that either tell you it's working or it's not working. But you can take the front panel off of it, and underneath it, it's like there are a bunch of wires that wire into it to control the different zones of the irrigation system. But there is no USB port. There is no display. There is no QR code. There is nothing. And I finally found the user manual, and in order to get access to this, what I had to do is, of course, I had to download their app. I had to set up an account. I had to opt out of all the marketing emails. I had to reset my password. I had to validate my account and my email. Like 20 minutes later, I was ready to start watering flowers, or so I thought. Basically, Paul, there on the front of this particular device, there is an electronic eye. And you basically have to tap a button in the app that starts counting down. You then take your phone, you place it flat on this surface, and it basically flashes Morse code style to program it.
Oh, shit.
And God help you if you're photosensitive, because if you don't turn that phone around, it is a series of very bright flashes that happen. So I go through this entire thing. And when you set it up, there is a very handy option in there that says, do you want to completely reset this device, or do you want to retain the settings from the previous owner? So I retain the settings because all the zones are set up. Like they already have like everything programmed in there and named. Like they're pretty well named, basically describing where the sprinklers are. And I was like, okay, let's hit this button that says test. So I hit the test button, nothing happens. I'm like, okay, there's nothing lit up on the panel. So like I took the panel back off the wall. Like I pushed it in there real good, like gave it a good hard ram, and hit the button again. Nothing happens. So I was like, screw it. So I called an irrigation company that came out. Of course they charge a service call. So they come out, and this was all last week when I made the appointment, but the guy came out yesterday, Wednesday, and like, he came downstairs and apparently like the water was off to it, which, okay, that's weird, but maybe the previous owners didn't use it that much. I don't know. But the water was off. So he turned the water on. We went back upstairs and he's like, okay, so we're just going to like hit each of your zones. We're going to make sure that the sprinkler heads are pointed the right way, that they're not broken, all that stuff. So like we literally walked around the house. We hit every zone. Like he adjusted them. Some of them, like a couple of them were broke and they had to be replaced, which, cha-ching.
Right.
But by and large, everything looked pretty good. They all sprayed water, and like some come out of my lawn, some come out of my flower beds. It's actually pretty cool. If I'm being 100% honest, like this particular product is really cool because there's a rain sensor on my roof that keeps track of how much water falls, and that like goes into the calculation. But because this is tied to the intertubes, it's like aware of the weather that's coming, and it's aware of like average rainfall. So like you don't necessarily have to tell it like water this zone for 20 minutes. Like it's going to do what it's going to do.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's actually like at the end of the day, the nerd in me really kind of digs this. So anyway, so the guy leaves, and later in the afternoon, I was like, still like, there's still stuff in boxes like a week and a half later, right? There's just still stuff in boxes. That's going to be reality for a little bit. So I was unpacking some things, and I was like putting some stuff away in the back cellar where the irrigation system is. And I noticed that there was some water on the floor, like just like not a lot, like someone had spilled a glass of water in the unfinished part of the basement. Now, I didn't know any of this, right? So if you're listening and you already know this, like, haha, you could tell me that you're smarter than me. I get it. But like, I actually have 2 water meters in my house, Paul.
Okay.
And the reason for that is there is a water meter in the front of my house where the water comes from the water store, or wherever the water comes from.
The water store.
And and like that's, you get charged money for that. So like, like if I were to take a shower, it costs me X amount of dollars for the water that comes out of my pipes, and then there's X amount of dollars for the water going into the sewer. All right, because like you pay water and you pay sewage.
Yep.
So what's interesting about irrigation systems is there is a second water meter tied to the irrigation system, and they call it a sewer deduct meter, because the water you use in your irrigation system, you are not charged sewage for that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, yeah. So like, obviously there's going to be a cost for running an irrigation system. Water costs money, because we live in a capitalist society.
Yeah.
And, but you're not charged for the sewage, provided everything was installed correctly. So the thing that was leaking was the actual meter. So like, much like your water meter inside your house that you have, there is like this little black meter with dials on it, and the bottom casing of it was like dripping, like a really slow drip. So I put a bucket under it, and I called the irrigation company, and they sent a guy back out the same day. And he looked at it and he said, okay, so he said there's 2 ways you can fix this. Number one, he goes, chances are you're going to have to hire a plumber to come out and replace this particular meter. But he said the thing you're going to want to check before you do that is you're going to have to call the city of Columbus and see, like, do they need to come out and like approve it? Do they need to do something? So like they need to make sure the meter works or whatever. And I'm like, So I called the city of Columbus, and I was talking to this nice lady, and she goes, yep, they can do that. They just need to make sure it's compatible with like such and such a meter type. And I wrote it down somewhere. I don't know where, but it's somewhere in this house. But while I was on the phone with her, she said, by the way, you never set up your new water account with us for your new address. And I said, oh, well, let's get that fixed. So she's like, tappity, 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 clickety, clickety, click, getting everything set up. What's your social, what's your address, blah, 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 blah. And then she says to me, she hits me at this one. She says, hey, by the way, in the notes here, it says we haven't been able to get a water meter reading for you. And I said, well, I just moved in a week ago. I don't know anything about this.
Oh, no.
And she says, well, according to our notes, it looks like your water meter is stuck. And I said, that sounds like a you problem. And she goes, well, it is. She goes, we'll send somebody out to replace your water meter. And I said, okay, that sounds good. How much is that going to cost me? And she says, well, it doesn't cost you anything. It's ours. And I said, okay. And she started going over with me like what the procedure is going to be. Now, here's the problem. My water meter is in my basement, but it is in the finished part of my basement. The previous owners drywalled sort of this corner that the water meter was in, but they cut an access panel. Like I can open the panel, I can like see my water meter, and I can like touch it. I can physically touch it.
But I guess it's not enough to actually like do work in it.
So apparently I need 3 feet of cleared space for them to replace this thing. So I'm either going to have to like cut a whole bunch of holes in this drywall or knock out some studs or something. I don't know. I don't know. So here's what's going to happen. They're coming Monday, and I'm going to cut some more holes in this drywall so they can work. If everything goes well, I'll just patch some drywall and repaint. No harm, no foul. But if they come here and they say, yeah, we can't do this and we're not allowed to like knock your walls out, they're basically going to give me an ultimatum to say, hey, you need to clear this out and we need to come back in such and such a day or we're just going to turn your water off.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So because, I have water and I have money and they want my money for the water I'm using. So
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like tempted just to run my water 24/7.
Just go out and get some like big old trash cans and just fill them up with water.
Save it for a rainy day. Literally. And speaking of rainy days, the only other complication we've had in this house is, I don't know how it was down your way today, but we had like a crazy storm here today.
Yes, we had same. Yeah, pretty bad.
We had it was like a torrential downpour. It rained very hard here to where some of the streets were flooded and
Whoa.
It rained very hard here. And my sump pump backed up.
Oh no.
But it's in the unfinished part of my basement and it wasn't bad. I just don't think the sump pump was able to keep up with the amount of water that was coming into it. So I'm having somebody come look at that. But other than the irrigation system fixes and other than whatever this sump pump issue might be and whatever I need to do to get access to this water meter, the house is great. Like this is the joy of home ownership, right? I could complain and I could like say that I'm upset and I don't want to spend all this money, but like this is reality, right? Like this is how this works. And at the end of the day, right, there are people in newer houses with pending litigation that have had issues as well. So like I can't.
That's true.
So like I can't like say woe is me because everybody sort of goes through this stuff, and this is just how life works.
Yep. Houses just eat money.
Yeah, and then like like I said, I spent a lot of time at my old house getting it ready. My first mortgage payment at this new house is not due until September. My goal is to be to be closed on my old house before then. And like I said, showings just started. Here's a complaint. I got a complaint for you. Paul, you have sort of the quintessential nuclear family. You have a wife, you have a beautiful boy, a beautiful girl, you have pets. Mm-hmm. If you were going to move, there's probably a square footage amount in your mind and bedroom and bathroom combination in your mind that you would need to sort of make that work. Yes?
Indeed. Yes.
Okay. So would you look at a home that you knew square footage wise was too small and did not have the requisite number of bedrooms and bathrooms and then complain to the agent that it was too small?
No.
Okay.
No.
That is, so the system, and I don't know how it was when you sold your house, but I get emails every time somebody schedules a showing of my previous home. And every time an agent leaves feedback, and every feedback is like, buyer didn't realize it was this small. And I'm like, Honey Bear, did you not read the listing? Like,
right, exactly.
What did you think was going to happen? Like, we lived in a small house. Like, you can't move a family of 6 in there. Like, what are you thinking? Like,
right. Yeah.
Don't yell at me.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's not going to magically grow.
Yeah, like you don't have to buy it, but don't leave snarky comments about buyer really displeased it was so small. Like, fuck you. Like, I've been told my whole life I'm too small for everything. Like, don't come at me with this negativity right now. I don't need this in my life.
Yeah. It's almost like their realtors aren't doing their job.
Yeah, but like I said, we got an offer today. And like I'm really torn because it's like on one hand, like it's at asking, right? Like we're not one of these people that got like a crazy ask over just because again, it's an attached home. It's small. Like I did not really, if I'm being honest, I did not really expect it to go over asking. As long as I got asking, I was going to be happy because in the end, like I'm still kind of making out with where this money is going to go when it's done. So like I'm fine with that. But at the same time, it's just like, should I wait or should I not? But I talked it over with my realtor and like, look, we don't know what's going to come on the market tomorrow. We don't know any of this. Like we have a good offer right now. They're paying cash. Like, let's just get it done. And I can be out from underneath it. It's one less thing I have to worry about. Like my mental health is worth not getting an extra $10,000, right?
Right.
Like it's worth it. And then like all my numbers that I've been sort of predicating all this stuff on will get hit. I'll feel way much better about things, and then I can focus on the other problems of my new house.
Yeah.
So
very healthy.
Yeah. But yeah, everything's cool, man. Like, we don't have enough furniture. Like, there's just other stuff we got to get done. And then we want to have an open house as soon as we can, but or like a house party, like a housewarming type thing that you'll be invited to. But
I'll be there. Unless
I know you will, because you're a good friend.
Unless it's on Saturday. I can't do this Saturday.
Cool. Well, it won't be this Saturday.
Perfect. Then I'll be there.
Oh. Yeah. So, it's been an adventure, man. And this is, I feel proud, about what I was able to accomplish here. I feel good about where I live. Like, we both love this house a lot. It is way more house than we need. Anything over like 3 bedrooms is probably more than we need, but it's nice to have extra space. Like, we're not on top of each other. Like, there's not stuff sitting out anymore. Like, we don't have a counter full of stuff anymore. Right. It's just like,
right.
I have a dedicated space to like make my coffee, and like, we have room, right? Like, I have an office with a door now. Like, it's just great. It's just great.
Oh, I'm proud of you. Very nice.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So
happy.
Yeah. And it's just, being back at work this week with all this other stuff going on. It's been a hard week. I'm glad tomorrow's Friday. I'm looking forward to like, basically just throwing in my air poods and like cutting my grass and just like trying to finally relax and enjoy my new house at some point, because I just haven't been able to do that yet. All right. Enough about me. You have follow-up for this week.
Yeah. I just want to have follow up a little bit about my Switch Lite. And, last episode I was complaining about how Nintendo doesn't get online and digitals and like the primary, secondary whole Switch thing. And you can't play a game on your secondary Switch unless you're connected to the internet. So I'm like, well, you know what, Paul? Let's just try buying some actual physical cartridges. And I felt weird, putting a cartridge in my Switch because I've never really done that before. But it totally solves the problem. It's great. I highly recommend, if you want to live a multi-Switch lifestyle, just start buying physical cartridges. You'll be much happier. But what I really want to talk about is I had a moment. So let's go back in a time machine, Drew. The original Nintendo Switch was released in March of 2017, so it's been out for over 4 years now, right? Over 4 years. Okay. Do you remember there was kind of a little bit of hubbub about a physical quality of the Nintendo Switch cartridges when they first come out? Do you remember what that was?
I think I do. Like, stop eating our cartridges.
Yeah, the story was they put a bittering agent on the cartridges to make them taste bad.
Yeah, because we're all fidgety, oral fixated people who just shove things in our mouths all day.
Yep. So I got my first Nintendo Switch cartridge. Hold on. I'm going to sneeze.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see.
Leave all this in. Leave it in.
Nope, it's gone now. So I got my first physical Nintendo Switch cartridge, and I looked at it and I thought to myself, well, I remember them saying these things taste bad. I wonder if that's true. Now, I'm a 44-year-old man, Drew. And I'm like, I'm going to lick this Nintendo Switch cartridge. And guess what, Drew? It tastes real bad.
I thought you had to like bite into it to get that stuff, to get that effect.
No, you do not. You just have to.
All right. Okay. All right.
Time
out.
It just has to touch your tongue. It's bad.
Time out.
Okay.
Time out. Talk amongst yourselves. There is a box within a brisk walk of me.
Okay.
I'm gonna do this live on the air.
Okay.
Just give me 1 second.
Okay. Oh.
I don't have to go anywhere. It's been right here the whole. Okay. The answer was inside of me the whole time. All right. So hold on. All right. So on the menu tonight we have Mario Tennis Aces. I have Super Mario Odyssey. I have Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I have Mario Kart 8.
Okay.
So what pairs best with a glass of scotch?
Definitely Mario Kart. Definitely Mario
All right,
Kart.
so just gonna just okay. Hold on. More clarification here. So where am I putting my tongue on this thing? Because there's metal on this.
Don't touch the metal. Just put it on the black plastic.
Just go for it.
Just give it a good old
lick it.
Lick it.
Lick it.
Just give it a lick. Give it a lick.
Oh my god. Oh god, it burns. Oh what? What happened? What is in my mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. That was terrible.
Now
it's like it literally attacked my tongue.
It does not taste good. It's bad, and it lingers. Like it's.
Oh my god! It lingers.
It lingers.
Oh.
It's.
I thought it was like, okay, you got to bite into this thing and it tastes like bad plastic. No, is.
No.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, I always knew that this was a thing. I'm sort of glad we did this tonight. I feel like we shared something here. Putting this away. We're never doing that.
Yeah. No, I have no desire to do it again.
I learned my lesson. That is done and done.
Yeah, it's bad. It's real bad. So believe the internet. It's bad. Don't do it.
Yeah. So sometimes the internet is right.
Yeah, it's bad, and it's worse than you think it's gonna be. It's like, oh, how bad could it be? No. It's bad.
No, it's pretty darn bad.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I mean, I think it's really designed for you to never want to do that again. Like, you're going to do this once. That's all it's going to take.
Ugh. Wow. Oh. That was bad.
It's bad.
They taste bad.
Oh.
Oh, and you don't even need to like put the whole thing. Can you imagine putting the whole thing in your mouth? Like,
no.
I just gave it a little. I just gave it one of those, you know, and it was.
Yeah.
There's some ASMR for you. Little.
Yeah, it's bad. You know, and after I did it, I'm like literally thinking to myself, like, what the hell did I expect? Like.
Yeah, like what did we think was going to happen there? Like
Yeah. No, it's a big conspiracy, and it actually tastes like cotton candy. Like, no.
Yeah, like congratulations, you were the one person, you were the chosen one. You now own the Nintendo Switch factory from a crazy old man who wasn't wanted anymore.
Yeah. Oh, I won the prize. Excuse me.
All right. Hey, more follow up, right?
Yeah.
Did you pre-order the Steam thing?
Oh, the Steam Deck. No, I did not.
I forgot it. I was busy packing. I missed out too, but so apparently.
I made a decision. I was home, and I'm just like, you know what? There's too many red flags. I don't need this. No.
Yeah, and apparently, like the internet fell over because that's what the internet does. Because like I don't care how many millions or billions of dollars your company has. It's really hard to make a website that people can like queue up for things for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so apparently the Valve store, the Steam store had a lot of issues with people placing an order for it, and the delivery dates very quickly got into like late or mid next year, maybe not late next year, but like mid next year because the pre-order volume was so high. So I didn't pre-order, but I don't necessarily feel bad about missing out. But you have a link in the doc that I have seen many articles about, and I could not tell you if this is something I want or not.
So I pre-ordered it. The pre-order started today, July 29th. And what we're talking about is the Playdate. The Playdate is a handheld console unlike anything else. It's made by the fine folks over at Panic. Panic Software is known for things like a really good FTP client on the Mac. I happen to use their text editor, Nova. They developed Untitled Goose Game and Firewatch. I think
Firewatch is a cool game.
Yeah.
Too.
So they have some game development chops. Otherwise, they're kind of Mac developers, and they decided, hey, we're gonna make a handheld console, and it's little. It's yellow. It's got a D-pad, 2 buttons, a black and white screen, not a grayscale screen, black and white, non-backlit, and it has a crank. Not for
Wow.
charging, but for playing games. You can use the crank to play games. And it's little, and it's cute, and it's quirky. And I want one really, really, really bad. So I pre-ordered one. Woo!
Yeah, when I first saw this, because this got some hype when they first announced it. Everybody was wondering, like, would you charge it with the crank? And no, the crank is actually a control.
Yeah, it's a input device. Yeah.
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 And it definitely intrigues the hell out of me.
Yeah.
I heard somebody talking about it on a podcast. I can't remember which one, because somebody had like an advanced copy of it, and they were talking about the different games that are on it. And the interesting thing about this is once you have the device, you basically have a subscription where new games are delivered. Like, games live on your device for a certain period of time, and they sort of rotate out, right?
No, I think you get to keep them, but how they're doing it is, at least for like the initial people who get the play date, I guess, like, it comes with 2 games on it, and then every week for 12 weeks they'll deliver 2 more games. So they have like 24 games ready to go, and they're going to give them out 2 a week for 12 weeks.
Now, is there an additional?
No,
for free. For free.
Yeah, well, they're calling this season 1, so I imagine at some point there'll be a season 2 if it goes well, and I imagine like you have to pay, you know, some amount of money to get the next chunk of games, or maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they'll just keep shipping games, but I imagine, you know, software developers like to get money for their stuff, so I imagine there'll be some sort of subscription fee with it. But yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I'm sure probably like a lot of the games are going to be hot garbage, but there's hopefully be a few gems in there that are good or at least quirky enough to, you know.
Yeah, you know, man, I don't know. My opinion of games in general has really shifted over the past couple of years to where I almost prefer indie games at this point. Like, I kind of like quirky little indie stuff, right? That's how we get games like Hades. That's how we get games like Untitled Goose Game and these other little things, as opposed to these blockbuster games that, you know, it's, you know, the nth iteration of Assassin's Creed or whatever, right? So it's like,
right.
Like, I'm all for this thing, and I wish I would have known that these were pre-ordering today. I guess I was a little out of the loop. Now,
the pre-orders are still open. They're basically like they're going to make like 20,000 of them in their first batch, and then after that, you basically get them whenever they can make them.
No, were you lucky enough to get them for 2021?
I was.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, like I got in, I think, before the website started buckling under the pressure, because like I was literally. My apologies to anybody who was actually in that 1 o'clock meeting with me, because I was not paying attention when that meeting started. I had basically their website kind of broke for a hot second, but then I saw because I'm a big, I love the Twitters. They posted, hey, go to like whatever, like or was it shop.play.date and get it. And then I put it in there, and they had a checkout with Apple Pay button. I'm like, that's quick. Boom.
Wow.
And then I was done.
Wow.
It was.
Well, that's pretty good, man.
It was quick.
So they say 2021, but like, what does that mean? Like, does that mean like December?
I think it's going to be towards the end of the year. Yeah. Yeah. This, like everything else, was supposed to already be out in the world, but the pandemic, it just keeps fucking everything up. So
yeah.
Yep.
It sure does. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm actually really interested to see how this goes. I'm like I said, I'm a little disappointed. I think I would almost prefer this over the Steam thing.
I am far more excited about this than I am about the Steam Deck.
I think I sort of agree.
Yeah,
I think I sort of agree.
Yeah, like it's little, it's quirky, it's black and white. You can play a surfing game with your crank. Like, I'm just gonna love just sitting on the couch just cranking it. So
play, just sit there and crank it.
Just crank it.
And it looks like there's an interesting developer aspect of this. There's an SDK.
Yeah.
They have a full development environment available for Mac, PC, and Linux, includes Lua and C APIs.
Yeah, which I don't think they've only given the SDK out to like certain developers now. But the story is like when it ships, you'll be able to get the whole SDK and like dev tools for free, and be able to build games. You can side load games on it. You know, like you don't. There's no app store model. You can do whatever you want. So if you want to build a black and white game for a handheld console that has a crank, go nuts.
I think I'm here for that.
Yeah.
I mean, do you sort of have any desire to do that? Because you're a way better developer than me.
I've always romanticized making a game, but I am so bad like at the artistic design like I'm sure I could mechanically make a game that worked, but like making assets for it that actually look good and making a game that's fun is intimidating. It's intimidating.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
It's very hard, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not easy.
But then again, like, it's a black and white screen. Like, how crazy do you have to be? But still, like, you know, I have a hard time, you know, printing, you know, letters, let alone drawing. So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this thing. I'm kind of bummed that I couldn't.
There's still time. I mean, you can.
No, because you'll have it and I won't. I feel like a big dumb. It doesn't work that way.
You can always spend twice the price and buy it on eBay. You know what? I wonder. Is
really?
Is,
already?
I wonder.
It has to be, right?
Yeah.
Play date, one word?
Yeah, one word. There's apparently.
Let's see.
Oh, yep. There they are. 300 between 300 and 400, $350 and $400 appears to be the asking price. Yeah.
Well, what's interesting, play date sticker, handheld game age teen. Someone's selling like something that's supposed to look at it for $11. I don't see any of the pre-orders.
I type Playdate pre-order. I see 5 listings.
There they are. $360, $399, $399, $349, $379. Ugh.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? How many of them have bids?
None.
Let's see. Some people were watching.
Yep. The cheap one. Yep.
Those will go. I guarantee you, those will go.
Yep.
Because that's people have more money than time. You know, that's how it goes.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just a mess, dude. Just an absolute... I do have to give a shout out to Bestie Andrew Wickham, who helped me with an interesting spigot problem at my house. Water comes out of the wrong hole.
You've had lots of water problems in your new house. It's definitely a theme.
Yeah. You got some serious ass water problems. The outdoor water faucets in my house are anti-siphon.
Mm-hmm.
But they have a hole in the bottom of them that the water comes out of. That's not the hole it's supposed to come out of. And I don't understand how to make that not happen. And and when you type in anti-siphon leaking faucet, like you get like lots of tips, like just use tape and tape the threads. But that's no. Like I have a very specific
it's not leaking where the water's supposed to come out.
I might have found the first unsearchable term for a solution on the internet. Like I really genuinely feel that way.
That's funny. Oh.
Yeah, buddy. I'm pretty whooped. I mean, we have anything else for tonight? Because I'm calling this one early.
Let's wrap it up early.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we're on the internet, doingtheirbest.com, on Twitter at doingbestpod. You can find me on the Twitters at Paul Baylor. Where can we find you, Drew?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Pittfurg, PITTFURG, and that's about all I got to say for this week.
All right.
Oh. No, I don't. Now that I have like an office with space and things to do, I will probably be back into streaming soon here.
Nice.
So
excellent. All right. Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
See ya.